two, one. Love Voice Radio. Women have the power
We
to
are live
transform
here
this
on
world. We can
the
end
Female
crime and
Solution
violence if we
Global
all
Radio
agree to
TV
do
show.
one thing: share. Let's share our wisdom, share our time, share our talent, share our finances, but most of all, let's share our love. This is the Female Solution. Join me, Naima Latif, every morning, 7 a.m. to 9 a.m. Central Standard Time, as we bring you stimulating discussions about the issues affecting our lives. If you're listening online at www.blogtalkradio.com/the-female-solution, press the blue button that says follow and get our daily topics every morning directly to your email and your smartphone. Hi, I'm Naima Latif, executive producer of the Female Solution Radio Show. We invite you to call in 515-605-9325 and participate in this daily think tank as we examine the challenges we face and develop solutions that restore peace and harmony. We are global transformers, changing the world from the way it is to the way it should be. We are one. Wherever we live on this earth, we are one human family. On behalf of our team of radio hosts, I'd like to extend a greeting to all the members of our family, whenever and wherever you may be listening around the world. To our family in China, Ni Hao. In India, Namaste. In Japan, Konnichiwa. In Korea, Annyeonghaseyo. In Russia, Здравствуйте. In Germany, Guten Tag. In Poland, Dzień dobry. In France, Bonjour. In Spain, Hola. In Italy, Ciao. In Egypt, Ahlan wa sahlan. In Ghana, Akwaba. In Nigeria, Peleo. In South Africa, Sawubona. In Senegal, Nangade. In Kenya, Jambo. In Israel, Shalom. In Pakistan, Afghanistan, and Saudi Arabia, Assalamu alaikum. Greetings, and may peace be upon you all.
And this is Naima Latif, and you have joined us live on the Female Solution Global Radio TV show. We're excited to be with you today because we want to empower you to change the conditions that we see. Today, we're going to talk about the program that we have launched to change conditions for those who are unhoused. We know that there is a crisis. There is a crisis of homelessness throughout America and definitely throughout Chicago, where so many citizens are unable to basically pay for a roof over their heads. And it becomes even more pronounced during times like this, when the holiday season is upon us. And many people are sleeping on concrete in very frigid weather. Now, we've had a fairly mild winter here in Chicago so far. We've had a few pretty cold days, but we've had some times where if you were outside, you could literally die from the cold. They call it exposure, when you are exposed to the elements and your body is not able to generate enough heat to make it possible for you to sustain life. Well, it's not enough for us to just be angry at the government for not spending the money or for spending more on weapons and arms than on housing for those who are living outdoors. We collectively have the power to change things. And that's what we're going to be talking to you about today. Because one of our associates, our Monday morning mindfulness host, Zelda Speaks, is actively involved in helping the unhoused, particularly because her brother, Douglas Robinson, was among that community, was a very influential member of that community, and helping it to become a community where people helped each other and shared. Well, sharing is always our motto. We can solve all our problems if we simply share. So today we're going to talk about sharing, especially because this is what it's going to take in order to make it possible for us to help the unhoused. So if we're willing, then we can resolve this issue and we can work together. We've talked about the cooperative housing agreements that it would take for those who own property to be willing to provide space for those who need a place to stay. And there are organizations that have been very effective in paying the rent for families for a year while adults were able to organize themselves, get jobs, get help, get settled. And we want to encourage more organizations to do the same. And so we've been following the work of Catholic Charities as they helped a particular family. We'll share more about that in a future show because we want to examine systems that work and examine ways that they may need to work a little better. Because the goal is for all people to live in a way that is comfortable. There has to be a human right to have shelter, to have a roof over your head, to be able to live indoors when it is physically hazardous to be living outdoors. There has to be an agreement that we will make it possible for people to have shelter when there are so many buildings and so many vacancies in buildings. Landlords are not getting any benefits from having an empty apartment. Even if it's paid a portion of what the rent is, it's better than being paid nothing. Now, one of the issues, and we've talked about this in previous shows, one of the issues that has arisen is the fact that the government is creating programs to help the recent migrants from Venezuela who are fleeing unsafe conditions and coming to cities and being bused to cities across America, Chicago, New York, other places, and suddenly becoming part of the unhoused. And the government is willing to put forth money to help them. And that same money could have been used to help the longtime unhoused. And so there is anger about that. And we covered a story recently. You can go to our on air dailynews.com for the story that had to do with a long-time uh, historical building that also had a program for low income rent. And suddenly those residents were being replaced because the owners had a contract to house recent migrants and were hurriedly creating some new apartment spaces, and the building caught fire. So it's not known and it's being investigated. Well, was the construction faulty? What happened that caused it to catch fire? Of course, now nobody's living there, not the migrants or the low income residents that were there. And so we're looking at the greed factor that may have caused people who had a place to stay to suddenly be evicted in favor of people who the government was going to pay more money for their housing. So we're looking at all of the things that are happening with the intention to get paid and the desire to go after money and benefit from the government's willing to pay more for those who are migrating from somewhere else. We're looking at programs like Catholic Charities that has been helping families with rent. Some of the policies are helpful. Some we're investigating because if they cause difficulty, we don't want to repeat anything that causes difficulty. We want there to be ease because people need to be able to have a place to live. And a place to live indoors is better than living on the street, even if that indoor place doesn't have everything that would make it perfect. It's still indoors, which is better than outdoors. So we want to perfect all of the systems that are being put forth. We want to encourage other faith-based organizations and community-based organizations and even individuals who are organizers, whether they're block club organizations, whatever the case may be. We want to encourage groups to share, to provide the resources, to make it possible for people to live. At least give them a year to get their lives together. Usually when a person is homeless, they've been through a series of things that has caused them to lose where they live. And the homeless condition is usually difficult to come out of because it's required that you have so many things that you don't have. Good credit. Well, if you had good credit, you wouldn't have lost your apartment. A job. Well, if you had that, you wouldn't have lost your apartment. References. Sometimes you don't have those either. And a month's rent, a month's security. Well, if you had that, you wouldn't be homeless. So, and then of course, a clean record. Well, a lot of times people end up in jail because they turn to things that may be illegal in order to create an income. So we are introducing a program called PEACE, Private Economically Assisted Cooperative Establishments. So this is a way for people to pay into a system that will pay for the housing for people. And we're making it possible for organizations to register, for faith-based organizations, community-based organizations, block club-based organizations, whatever it is, whatever a group of people that are willing to share their income and make a commitment for a year so that there is a financial base for a person who needs an apartment to be able to live in that apartment that is financed by another group. We want that to be made possible. And so we're setting up the system whereby those who are willing, their hearts are telling them, help someone who's homeless. We want to make it possible for you to do so. And then, of course, we want those who are being helped to comply with some basic agreements. So today we're going to take a look at some of the groups that have been helping people who are in need. And some of the challenges that comes with charitable work. Because sometimes the people that help people, if they get tired or weary or maybe impatient because the people that they're helping don't seem to be improving at the rate that they think they should be improving, sometimes they get a little irritable. And we have to make sure we don't start showing contempt for people who need our help. Because sometimes people are battling emotional trauma, mental illness, and you might look at them and say, well, why can't they get themselves together? Well, there are reasons why. They've been through something and it's been devastating. And if you've never been through anything, sometimes you don't have the same level of empathy. So we want to talk about that today. And we are live on Blog Talk Radio. For those who want to participate in the conversation, you can call us at 515-605-9325 and press 1. And we've also got our Facebook and YouTube channel where you can go to the Female Solution on Facebook and YouTube, and you can write in your comments and we will certainly share them with our listening and viewing audience, because we do know that there are people who have a heart and they do want to share. They do want to be a part of a solution for this homeless crisis. And that means, and we thank all of you who have said you love what we're saying. We do want to encourage people who have a heart to consider being a part of the private economically assisted cooperative establishment. Somebody who will be willing to give. And of course, our Female Solution website that we explain the program, www.thefemalesolution.com. But you know, there are so many ways that people can assist. And if you have things that you don't need, an abundance of things, will make it possible for you to contribute in ways that are helpful, whether it is contributing your clothing or maybe housewares, or perhaps even food. And we'll of course make sure that any food contributions meet a requirement, because it's better to have something that can be used and you give it than to have something that can be used and you throw it away. Throwing it away doesn't help anybody, whereas sharing it could help everybody. So we really do want to encourage people to be a part of something that solves the problem and not just be angry that the problem exists. It doesn't help to be angry and fuss about what the government isn't doing and what the government ought to do. It comes down to, do you care enough to help? Do you care enough to help? When people start saying, well, the government really should do so and so and so, and that's what we pay taxes for, and blah, 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 all that might be true. But we have to stop using that as an excuse to not do. to not help, to not give. Because when you really want to help, you help. You don't just keep making excuses as to why you can't or why you won't or who ought to do and all of that. You choose to help. So on our website, we're creating a means whereby organizations can register and they can agree to contribute what would be rent for a family. Now, we've set as a price $1,200 a month. There are apartments that cost more. There might be a few that cost less, but we've set that as a price for a group to finance. So if you've got, you can break it down. 12 members who will contribute $100 a month. 24 members who will contribute $50 a month. 48 members who will contribute $25 a month. I mean, there are systematic ways you can break it down. You might have a faith-based organization where you've got 48 members who say, well, I'll contribute $25 a month, and the organization can consider your tithes or offering or whatever, but that money goes toward that apartment rental, and that money goes toward that building owner, and that pays for that rent. We want to create systems, and systems require commitment. So we're talking about systematically creating a way where organizations can do what some organizations like Catholic Charities is doing in terms of subsidizing rent for a year. And it's expected that within that year, that person who is having their rent paid will be doing what's necessary to get their life back together. Whether it's going through a program to make sure they're not engaged in substance abuse, whether it's counseling, therapy, so they can get their emotional stability back in place. Sometimes people are going through extreme grief from a trauma. Maybe they lost everything after a loved one died, a parent died, a spouse died, a child died, and just fell apart. Lost a job, couldn't cope. So they need to go through the process of healing their heart, their mind, their spirit, and get themselves organized so that they can function, whether it's getting a business that they can generate income, getting a job where they can generate income. But at the end of that year, they need to generate the income that would pay for their rent. That's the desire. But we know that things happen in people's lives that make it difficult for them to function. So in this system, if an organization will make that commitment, and that means each member makes that commitment, and that means that the apartment owner makes the commitment. And there are a lot of people who own property, but they can't get the benefit of being a property owner if the units are empty. And it's difficult to rent to people who have various emotional problems and social dysfunctions. People don't want their property neglected or torn up or misused. So we have to look out for the interests on both sides. So the female solution, our team of hosts are here to create solutions. And one of our hosts, as you know, the Higher Learning Network, not for profit, is actively engaged in helping the homeless, the unhoused, with heaters, with food, with supplies that can help them as they go through the process of surviving outdoors. But we want to take the next step and bring them indoors. And we do definitely shout out to Catholic Charities that's created a system whereby people who are living in shelters can go through a screening process and be prepared to be housed. We respect the fact that there is a necessity to go through a screening process because some people are still in a phase of self-destruction. We want to be able to take people from self-destructing behavior to healthy, self-managed behavior so that people who invest their money, because it is an investment, people who agree to finance their apartment for a year can be sure that they are emotionally stable enough to follow through with their commitments to that apartment building owner and do the kinds of cooperative work that would make it possible for them to earn the right to be subsidized. Because we are asking for those who are being helped to also help, helping with maintenance in a decent way. We're not expecting people to go into an apartment and help rewire the building, but we are expecting basic maintenance. If you are living in a place and you can help reduce the cost to the apartment building owner by your assisting in the cleanup and basic maintenance, just like you would maintain your house. But that means an attitude of responsibility. We don't want anybody to be exploited, not the owner and not the residents, not the one being subsidized, not the one being helped by others. We want everybody to understand this is a cooperative effort to remove a problem, to remove a crisis, to get children off of the street, minors who often aren't allowed to be in shelters because they're over the age of 13 or over the age of 16 or whatever the case may be. And sometimes families are forced to let their teenagers be homeless because not all shelters will allow teenagers to live because of fear. So we've got a very large homeless teen population, and they do what they have to do to survive. You can't ask people to live without food and decent clothes and expect that there's not going to evolve a crime element. So if we're going to solve the crime element that comes out of the homelessness, we have to care enough to share. And we have to care enough to trust. And then those in whom we put our trust have to show themselves trustworthy. So this is the issue that we are addressing today. And yeah, somebody looking for an Uber. Sorry, not Uber today. But it's exciting to see that there are people who are willing, and they just need a systematic way to do it. And that's what we're creating, so that there is a systematic way that is transparent, protecting the privacy of people, but at the same time, allowing people to know that those that they are helping are doing what's necessary to be worthy of the help. Because we want to make sure that by next year, we have had a significant reduction in our unhoused population, and that we as a collective body are being our brother and sister's keeper by sharing what we have. There are those who have enough that they can share. Now, again, We've got people who want to put all the burden on those among us who might have excess, the millionaires among us. Yes, there are a lot of people who have millions of dollars, and they pay their share of money for charity work and taxes and everything else. But Elon Musk can't save everybody. Oprah Winfrey can't save everybody. The people that we want to solve the problem, it's not their responsibility to save the world just because they're generating a lot of income. They do a lot, more than you see and more than you know. But all of us can do something. And that's what we're challenging people to do, is to be a part of the solution. We do have the power to change this world. We can solve all of our problems. We can eliminate crime, violence, and poverty. All we have to do is share. So we'll be right back after this quick break. We want you to stick and stay. Don't stray away. We'll be back in a moment, so stay with us. Hi, I'm Naima Latif, and if you're watching this, that means you're one of the 4.6 billion people from around the world who are using an electronic device to talk to people. In these times, people are using the internet to talk to everybody. Friends, neighbors, family members, co-workers. People are on their cell phones and computers all day long. Now, if you're in business, that is great news. That means you can sell your products and services all day long and never have to leave your home. All you need is a media connection, somebody to connect you to an audience. And that's why I'm talking to you today. We produce programs, and our audience members are people who shop. They buy clothes, food, beauty supplies, cleaning supplies, home repair, transportation services, child care services. Whatever you're selling, they need to buy it. We're your media connection. Just follow this link, and tomorrow you can sit back and relax at home while your business is making you money. Especially because, and we are here back on the road because we want to show you some of the places where people are being suggested to be housed. And we know that the city is doing the best that it can. You know, Brandon Johnson got thrust into a situation that he did not create, namely people coming to America, fleeing their country, and having no place to go, and speaking primarily Spanish. And they were thrust into primarily English speaking communities and housed in police departments and expected to function with nothing. And you had women with children. I saw them. We followed Mayor Brandon to in his visitation to police districts where the migrants were being housed. And would you want to have your baby on the floor of a police station with a blanket? Come on now. So the things that people are being asked to uh, agree to tolerate are ridiculous. And we don't want to have people struggling and suffering when it's unnecessary. And it doesn't matter whether they are American born or born in another country. It doesn't make sense for people to be suffering and struggling when there are so many people who have an abundance and can share. So now we've stopped by the Rainbow Push organization, where Rainbow Push, of course, as you know, has always been part of the solution. They have been feeding people and giving out Thanksgiving baskets, giving out Christmas baskets. And today, Merry Christmas.
How you doing?
What? Oh, really?
Yeah, he's sitting outside. I don't know why the dude ain't got no hat.
I know. Yes. Well, he's always always working and making things happen. So this is always a great chance for people. And, whoops, oh boy, got mud all over my boots. Yes, absolutely. Yes, well, how are you?
How are you?
Wonderful, wonderful.
Those are magnets that you put in your shoe.
Ah, okay.
And what they do, and the blood passes to your feet.
I think I've heard of. Is that the organization that does it? Is that?
No, it's not an organization.
Okay.
It's a product that I made.
Oh.
That I, try to get people to buy so that they'll have good health for the rest of their life.
Well, we need to know you.
What
Let me see if
does,
I've got a.
What this does is that as the blood passes through there, it charges up the iron in the red blood cells, which carries oxygen.
Ah, I'm trying to see if I've got
the earth
card I can get.
The earth's energy is supposed to come through our feet to keep our bodies functioning.
Okay? I'm going to give you a card before I leave. I have to go back to the car and get it.
Is that we put on shoes and stuff, and that blocks the energy.
Well, that is great. How long have you been doing this? We're actually on a live show right now. We've been talking about people who do innovative work. Mm-hmm. And
I Rev, you put those in your shoes. Okay, soon you get home.
Well, good afternoon, Reverend Jackson. Looking forward to being with you all at the Cook County Jail, for sure. Yes. So, of course, Reverend Jesse Jackson is here. Reverend Jesse Jackson is here at Rainbow Push. And this is a place where people have been coming to get help and relief and have been part of the process of changing humanity. Of course, PUSH stands for People United to Serve Humanity. It used to be People United to Save Humanity. Now that we've saved them, now we're serving them. And this is what we're talking about today. So we've come to meet an entrepreneur, a person who's got a product that provides for help. We're going to talk a bit to him, because as we stand outside of the Rainbow Push headquarters, we know the history of this place that has been instrumental in helping the homeless, helping the low income, helping those who've been discriminated against, and helping those who are in crisis get help. So as Reverend Jackson prepares to leave, and he's been diligently serving the public for these many years. And it is a blessing to be 80 plus years and still here fighting and overcoming challenges and setting an example for the many people who come here for help. And this is, of course, 930 East 50th Street, 50th and Drexel. And it is a place where Many people have gone over the years. Many have have graced this place, whether it is uh, a head of state or a community organizer or a person running for office. They have come to this place to get help and to offer their service. So on Christmas Day, of course, Reverend Jackson always goes to Cook County Jail to give a service to those who are not able to be at home during this very important time. And it's to remind them that there are still those who care. So we'll be there, covering, as always, to remind us that there are people who are in jail who have not been convicted of a crime, but because sometimes they just don't have the money to make bail, they still there. There are people who've made mistakes that are there, but everybody's still a human being, regardless of what they've done. So we always in support of Reverend Jackson and his work. And good, how are you? Yes. So we're gonna take a step in, and we're gonna be back to talk to you about those magnets in a moment. We're gonna take a step inside, and of course, uh, want you all to definitely. How are you? Excellent, excellent. Now I think I'm on the list for the trip to the jail on Monday. Is there a bus leaving here, or are people just gonna get there?
I'm not really sure how that works. You want to get on the list?
Well, I'm on the list already. I know I did talk to Alana. I just wouldn't. I guess I'll probably just drive there.
Is that Reverend's bag too?
No, I think that's for Pastor Brown.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Yeah.
You might want to ask Alana
Okay, I'll do that.
about the bus and stuff.
I'll do that. I'll probably just drive, but but I'll do. I did want to make sure I knew what time. Do you know what time you're supposed to get there?
No, I don't know any of the information for that.
Okay, I'll ask her. We'll make sure we're there on time. Okay. Well, thank you so very much. Thank you so very much. Yes.
Hello.
How are you? How are you? Yes. Yes.
Hi.
How are you? How are you? Yes. So this is a place where people are committed to helping and making a difference. And they've been giving out Christmas baskets, of course, and as you can see, Mariano's one of those partners that help. So now,
So you put them in your shoe,
yes,
and it'll keep your energy level constant.
yes.
Okay,
So now, tell us your name.
Mr. Prince.
Okay, and tell us about how the magnets work.
Okay, you put them in your shoe. Hold it. Let me get this. Oh.
And
You put them in the ball of your foot.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. What it does as the blood passes through your feet, it energizes the iron in the red blood cells that carries oxygen. So consequently, your body will be constantly oxygenated, so your brain will not be fluctuating on your energy. So when you get at the end of the day, when you get home, you won't be tired because your brain is constantly being steady oxygenated. Because when we go inside, that cuts off the natural earth energy that's supposed to do the same thing. And I guarantee you wear these every day and your whole life will change, because all the things that you would be tired of doing, you'll be able to do them now because you won't be short of energy.
So how do people reach you if they want to order this?
If you want to get a pair, you can get them at 432 East 47th Street at the Currency Exchange. It's right east of King Drive in the middle of the block on the north side of the street. But
Give us your name again.
I guarantee you, you wear these, your life will change.
And give us your name again.
My name is Mr. Prince,
Mr.
and I'm
Prince.
91 years old.
Wow.
I've been married for 60 years.
Wow.
My wife and I wear them, and we do not argue anymore because we're not tired.
Wow. Now that's a testimony. That is a testimony. Mr. Prince, right? Yes. Well, hey, 91 years old, successful entrepreneur out here. And he's got another product. Go right ahead. Tell us about.
This here is free. You have it at home already. Get you some rubbing alcohol, and what you do is put the pennies you got laying around. The darker the penny, the more copper's in it. Put as many as you want in the bottle and let them sit there. The copper will come off in the alcohol. And whenever you have any kind of pain, any kind of aching, any kind of nerve pain, what you do is shake it up, pour it in your hand, and put that, and it'll seal that nerve.
Is that because the copper?
The copper.
Wow. So now you sound like a scientist. How did you learn about this?
No, I'm not a scientist.
How did you learn about this?
No, I did by doing it.
Wow.
By doing it. You know, it does the same thing as the copper glove, but the copper in the glove has to go through the skin to get in the blood.
Wow.
Whereas the alcohol opens up the pores where the nerve is broken, the copper seals it right there.
Wow. Wow. Well, there you go. Mr. Prince said so. Well, thank you so much. And give us that address again where people can get the magnets.
432 East 47th Street. It's the Currency Exchange.
Okay.
Right in the middle of the block.
All right. Now, of course, we happen to work with a number of products. And so I'm going to give you one of my cards and so you can get in touch with me. Because we introduce products where people who want to buy them outside of Chicago can perhaps order them. And so we would want to make that a possibility, particularly because it sounds like it works with a principle of the earth and its magnetism. You know,
yes,
people are learning that if you walk barefoot on the ground, that it's healing, but they don't understand totally why. It's because the earth has a magnetic quality. And so
every creature on earth should wear.
Yes. So we're
children, you know.
Yes. So Alana, I know that's the person I need to see. What time are we supposed to be at Cook County on Monday?
10 o'clock, but I'm gonna send you an email.
Okay. All right. Great. Okay. Fantastic. All right. Yes. Well, I'm gonna go and get you a business card because I want to keep in touch with you and see how we can expand the reach of those magnets because I know everybody needs to be magnetized. Yes. And my name is Naima. Yes. We'll be right back and go get a card. Yes. So you never know what you may discover and who you may meet that can give you something that can change your life. Now, there are a lot of products that people buy and sell. And we've also introduced a way that people can benefit from the commerce that is going on around us all the time. We have introduced prosperity partners, people who are simply sharing the products that we introduce, and they get paid a portion of the selling price. And we do this because money is a form of energy that circulates. And so if we will simply share, again, then we can all benefit from this system of commerce that really, it works if we have as the intention the well-being of others. That's all we need to do is just change our intention. Change our intention for what we do. And we will change the outcome of what we do. So, for the most part, if we desire for everybody's well-being, then the systems that we create will create well-being for everyone. And that's all that's necessary, just to change our intention. So our prosperity partners are people who are simply sharing. Here you are.
Okay.
My,
This is go. You broadcast?
yes,
Oh,
yes,
wonderful.
yes. So I'll give you two of those, one for you and one for your wife.
Okay, thank you.
Yes. And Mr. Prince, we're gonna if you can.
Well, you got to get you a pair of these.
Yeah, so if you can text me your phone number and everything when you get to your cell phone, if you're able to do that, and then I can call you back and we'll make that appointment to.
I'm gonna be out here every Saturday.
Okay, fantastic.
So I want to reach as many people as I can, and I like it this way because I can personally explain to
Yes.
people, you know.
And how much is a magnet?
$10.
Really? That's a
pair.
workable price. All right. Well,
my wife and I, we don't even argue anymore.
Yes, that is that itself is a it's a benefit. Yeah, they're tired and stressed. That's right. That's right. So you can get replenished with the.
This is constant. So
yes.
In fact, the other day, my wife and I, we've been married for 60-some years. Okay.
Ah.
And she said, "When you come into bed?" I said, "I'm not tired." She said, "Well, take them damn magnets out of your shoes so you can go to sleep." So the energy was up, you know, my brain was still working, you know, because it was still energized, you know.
Yes, yes.
I hadn't been sick. I didn't take no shots or nothing like that because my body is constantly, the immune system is strong.
So now that's another thing that we've been talking about, and I want to really emphasize this is a 91-year-old gentleman.
Yes. And I've been wearing these since I was 75 years old.
Wow.
And my wife and I, we do not argue because we're not stressed out.
Wow.
And so we can do the things we want to do without saying I'm too tired to do it.
Right. Yes.
So all our dreams come true.
Wow. That is amazing. And you know, the great thing about that, everybody thinks that people who, you know, in 70s and 60s and so forth, thinking you have to have a bunch of medications and take a bunch of shots.
Right.
And you're not on not on medications and all that?
No medication.
Yes. This is what it looks like when you're healthy at 91.
You know, and if you you know, you can live as long as you want to if you take care of yourself.
That's real simple, isn't it? Yes.
Really. So if people worry about I'm gonna die, I want to do this while I'm dying. I'm gonna live to be 150. Then I'm gonna decide what the heck I want to do.
Yeah, I think I'm ready to go now. I've seen all I need to see. I'm ready to go. I'm ready to go back home now. Well, that is very inspirational, and I think that for people who are thinking that aging means you have to be all bent over and walking with a limp because your feet hurt. Well, look, this is somebody right now. He's out here in the elements and sharing a fantastic product, just $10. So be looking out for.
I just gave prayer from Reverend Jackson.
Yes.
His health is improved now.
I'm looking forward to that.
Because his body now can constantly can keep the body in health.
You know, I really believe that the answer to everything is natural, using the natural things that the earth provides.
God made this machine to work forever.
Yes, it's made to work forever.
Right, and we're the ones that, you know, we stop eating right. We don't, you know.
Absolutely.
Because we're tired.
Yes. If we would just give our bodies what they need, we could stay here until we get ready to go.
They didn't wear shoes.
Right.
That's why they could run down their prey.
Yes.
Because the energy was there.
Yes.
But see, we start putting shoes on and clothes
putting
on.
Putting a barrier between us and nature.
Right. That's right.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. See, this is the wisdom of the elders that we need to share and spread. Hi, how are you?
Hi.
Yes.
You guys have a nice holiday.
God bless you.
And the God of
Yes.
happiness continue to smile on you.
Yes, this is amazing. Well, this is what we
And I've been
want to
trying to,
tell people.
I've been trying to, this is all God made this happen.
Yes, so
You
that you
know,
could get these to Reverend Jackson.
I
Because
gave him a pay.
that is wonderful. And of course, Reverend Jackson was leaving just as we arrived.
Right.
And so now he'll have a chance to experience
Right.
the natural effects of
And
the
I want to
magnets.
this is something important. This is an argument that you won't have with your partner anymore. When your wife tells you to cut the radio down, the television down, let her turn it down herself, because all women's senses are higher than men because they're the
Wow.
caregiver and they have to protect the family. So what happens when you turn it down, it's just low to you, but it's still too high for her. So she comes back and she says, "Would you turn it down? I asked you." And you say, "I did," which you did, but wasn't down far enough for her. So let her turn it down herself. And you
That.
won't have that argument no more.
Wow. And we never think about that, but our ears are more sensitive. It's just like you've had that situation where the baby's crying in the middle of the night, and if you're the mother, you hear it, and the father, he's still there snoring.
Right.
He doesn't hear a thing.
Right.
Our ears are attuned
That's right.
differently. So we hear the baby as screaming, and our husbands hear absolutely nothing. And they're not faking; they really don't hear it.
Right.
So what you've said is it's scientifically correct.
I try to pass that down to families too, and young couples with children. Do not think about divorce. You owe it to your children to teach them life values,
Wow.
so that they will have a happy marriage.
So how many children have you and your wife raised?
I've been married twice. So I've raised I had 4 with my first family, and I married a lady that had 6.
Wow.
So I raised 10 children.
Wow. So you're speaking from the wisdom of experience.
That's right. That's right.
Wow.
So just start loving each other and show love to each other. Hug.
Yes. Yes. Such wisdom. Well, something as simple as a hug can solve a whole lot of conflict. Yes.
And all you single parents out there, get you a man in your life so you can teach the children how family works.
That's wisdom.
Otherwise, they will have problems in their life, and your grandchildren will be unhappy and all the way through. Ooh. So you have to teach them. See, what happened when they brought us here from the continent of Africa, they didn't tell me what village we belong to. Mm-hmm. So I don't know what the values was of the tribe that I came from. Ooh. So consequently, we're trying to emulate what the family is about by the other cultures that we're surrounded with. But this way, so we think that building a family is just being able to feed and clothe them. But family building is teaching them how to survive in the environment that we bring them in.
That's right. And we haven't done that. That's why we're having problems.
That's right.
Well, you are so wise, Mr. Prince, and I'm so glad we met. And I've got to leave now, but I am certainly going to keep in contact with you. I'm looking forward to seeing you next Saturday right here at Rainbow Push. All right. Well, thank you so much, and enjoy the rest of your day. Yes. Likewise. Yes. Well, see, you never know where the wisdom is going to come from. And that was Mr. Prince. And what he said is just basic, simple wisdom. You have to be able to demonstrate what a family looks like in order for your children to reproduce a family. There are so many people now, they're having difficulty with their relationships because they really don't know the mechanics of how to do simple things like organize your household, organize who's going to take care of what responsibilities. They don't know how to resolve a difference of opinion. They haven't seen it done. we have people who are struggling with relationships because they think after the attraction to a person, uh, you go to a few places together, you get involved and are sexually intimate. Oh, well, now I'm in a relationship. They don't have a clue as to what to do after that. And they don't know how to organize the household budget. They don't know how to make sure everybody's needs are taken care of, how to organize their time, how to choose friends that are beneficial to both the husband and wife. They don't know. And they don't know how to teach their children values. There are certain values. It's more than just making money. There's a value where certain things you don't do that may be unethical. Certain things that you do that shows respect for people. And you have to demonstrate these things. And if you don't have a person in your house that you're interacting with, how are you demonstrating to your children what it looks like? So we are grateful to Mr. Prince for sharing his wisdom today. And we're going to take another quick break and come on back and show you some of the places that people are striving to survive in this difficult winter weather. Today is mild. We're grateful. Day before Christmas, no snow on the ground. I'm not one that needs a white Christmas. Trust me, I'm fine. But it's still not the best place to be if you don't have a roof over your head. So we'll be right back after this quick break. We want you to stick and stay. Don't stray away. And if you're watching us on Facebook or YouTube, feel free to write in your comments. And we may be able to provide you with the new shoe magnets you just saw. Because as Mr. Prince said, it mimics the magnetizing effect of the earth itself, which is a healing property. And if you've done what they call earthing, walking barefoot, you know that it does heal your body. So we'll be right back. So stay with us. Hi, I'm Naima Latif. And if you're watching this, that means you're one of the 4.6 billion people from around the world who are using an electronic device to talk to people. In these times, people are using the internet to talk to everybody. Friends, neighbors, family members, co-workers. People are on their cell phones and computers all day long. Now, if you're in business, that is great news. That means you can sell your products and services all day long and never have to leave your home. All you need is a media connection, somebody to connect you to an audience. And that's why I'm talking to you today. We produce programs, and our audience members are people who shop. They buy clothes, food, beauty supplies, cleaning supplies, home repair, transportation services, child care services. Whatever you're selling, they need to buy it. We're your media connection. Just follow this link, and tomorrow you can sit back and relax at home while your business is making you money. And if you have been watching us today on the Female Solution Global Radio TV show, you know that we're out in the field today because we want to show you some of the places where people who have had to navigate this weather and have had to figure out a way to stay warm, even though they don't have everything they need. We want to make it possible for people who don't have coats to get winter coats, boots to get winter boots, hats and gloves to get hats and gloves. There are a lot of organizations that are collecting these things. The question is, how do you get them to the people who need them? Well, every challenge creates it creates an opportunity for someone to develop a solution. Every challenge is sometimes a new business opportunity or a new service opportunity. But either way, it's a way for somebody to use their imagination to come up with a problem solving idea. Just like the pandemic gave us a lot of different delivery services because people couldn't leave their homes, this crisis in the unhoused gives us an opportunity to come up with various ways of cooperative economics. Cooperative economics. And we know that's one of those principles of Kwanzaa we talk about every year. We talk about cooperative economics, meaning everybody contribute to something to make it work. Well, this is what this peace program is all about, is cooperative economics. Having groups of people contribute to something that can solve a problem. We want people to think in terms of how they may be able to make a commitment based on their current income and what they can spare, so they can be a part of a group effort that helps a family. It helps a family that may be going through a crisis or may have gone through a crisis and may have had to deal with the absence of a place to stay because there was not a source of income. Everybody who is homeless is not a drug addict or an alcoholic. Some are just people who've gone through a difficulty and didn't have a support system, didn't have people who had money who could help them pay their rent. Maybe some significant people in their lives passed away, so they don't have the financial support that would have enabled them to weather a difficulty. Sometimes they've gone through a traumatic event, the sudden death of a child or a parent or a sibling or a spouse. Maybe that person that had been their financial support is suddenly gone. Or maybe they simply are going through the emotional trauma of the loss and just couldn't get their minds together to keep their lives organized. And maybe as a result, they lost their home, their apartment, their living space, and just couldn't get the resources together to get another one that was safe. Maybe they have a family to support. Maybe they have teenagers. And some shelters don't offer space for teenagers. So you have a lot of situations where people may find themselves needing help and not having a way to get help. You have a lot of places where people are having difficulty because they just don't have anybody that they know that can help them. I mean, some people have slept on people's couches or even in their garages for as long as they can. Maybe a space on the floor in a room. But after a while, you need to have your own living space. And More people have been homeless than you realize. Many more people have had that experience of living outdoors or going from place to place. And there are a whole lot of teenagers that have been put out the house for whatever reason. Conflict with parents, conflict with, a boyfriend, uh, live in and doesn't like the son, or maybe the daughter had to leave because the boyfriend was molesting them. That's happened a lot. There are young people that are out here homeless because they can't survive where they're living because it's not safe for them. There are a lot of people that are in that reality. And it's unfortunate that there are not enough places that they can go for help. And if you're 18 and out of school and you're too old for the state custody programs, what do you do? Where do you go? There are a lot of young people that are out here on the streets trying to eat from day to day. And we assume that services flow freely. Well, most of the time you have to have an address in order to get any kind of service. And shelters that are open to people, they have requirements, they have standards. So what do you do when you don't meet the standards? And what do you do if it's nighttime and you need a place to stay? You have bus stations now that won't let people stay the way they used to. You could before, stay all night in a bus station, look like you're gonna be taking a late night bus. Well, a lot of those places where you could stay just to stay warm, they'll kick you out and let you be out in the cold. They don't care because they feel like, well, you're unsafe. You might rob somebody. Yeah, you might because you're hungry. So what are you going to do? What are you going to do if you don't have a place where you can live? What are you going to do? And how do you make it? How do you survive in the cold when you can't be indoors? Well, you have some people, they will ride the train. They'll, just get on. You get enough for a train fare and just stay on, ride back and forth, stay on at the end of the line and go to the next end of the line. But then at some point you get even put off of the train. So it's difficult. People learn all the various little nooks and crannies you can go to keep warm because that's part of the survival. So we want to be able to reach out to those who are in that state of survival and bring them indoors. Our website is www.thefemalesolution.com, and our page on peace will offer a way that you can get involved in the process of helping so that you can do more than just be mad at the government for not doing its share for those who have lived outdoors for a long time with no help. You can do more than just be mad because recent migrants are receiving money that enables them to buy things and live in a decent place. And people who have been here have not been able to do that. We want to do more than just be angry about that, because being angry about it doesn't solve anything. We want to be at peace, which means we want to be part of the process of helping to pay for the private, economically assisted, cooperative environment that those who own properties are able to provide. Because right now, if they have living space and it's unused, well, then they're getting no money. So for those who are watching us, feel free to call in 515-605-9325. That's 515-605-9325. And if switchboard's full or whatever the case may be, if you're not able to get in, then we will certainly welcome your comments on our Facebook and YouTube channel. So we're going to go to our switchboard and open the microphones for those who want to add their comments as we get ready to show you some of the places that have been proposed to house those who are unhoused. It's not an easy thing living from pillar to post, going from place to place, trying to figure out how you can stay warm. It's not an easy thing to do, especially when you have so many places that will put you out. So let's open the microphone for 312-677 Grand Rising. Thank you for joining us today on the Female Solution Global Radio TV show. This looks like Bianchi from St. Louis or Africa, or wherever you are today.
Put some glasses on. You don't see no 312.
Did I say 312? It's 314. But you know what? Hey, if you were on my Facebook page or YouTube channel, you see I do have my glasses on. So I should be able to see it. 314.
These people that's going through those problems, why don't they refuge down to Venezuela, Mexico, or one of those southern hemisphere countries and see if they can get in? Just walk right on across the border.
You know how many miles you got to walk before you get across the border? I mean, it's not like, you can just walk a couple of miles and there you are in Venezuela. And if people don't have bus fare to get downtown, how are they going to have plane fare or even boat fare to get anywhere? So, going someplace isn't as easy if you don't have resources.
Well, you got people coming across the southern border coming all the way from Uganda.
That's true.
In China. So, if Americans, if these people in the United States are having those problems, then some church groups, just like you got some sponsors and NGOs down in the southern hemisphere that's inviting these others to come across the border illegally. And why don't Americans that's homeless, sleeping on the bridges and so forth, seek refuge in the country?
Well, now, how do you propose that they do that? How do they get to these places? I mean, it's one thing to have the idea, it's another thing to actually physically get there. It's like, say, if somebody's in Chicago and they say, well, look, I've been homeless in Chicago. Let me go down to Venezuela and see if I can get a better life. How would they get from Chicago to Venezuela? Just hypothetically, and let me hear your
Catholic,
okay.
Go to a Catholic or Lutheran charities or these other groups and tell them, look, we need to get down there. They're helping those people from those southern hemisphere countries to come up here. They encourage them, coaching them, and so forth. Or should there not be a like kind for those here in the United States that are depressed, suffering, and so on and so on?
Well, that's a thought. See, I don't know who pays for the travel of these people when they arrive to America. I don't know if it's Catholic Charities or, any of these places. I don't know how long they.
Hang on for a second. Hang on for a second. You got South American embassies in Chicago. Let some of them, 20, 25, go into an embassy there from one of those countries and say, we want to go down to your country. See, that's the way.
Just go to the embassy.
When you seek refuge, yeah, when you seek refuge, you go to the embassy of the country you want to seek refuge to that's already in your country. Then you go through the process of saying if you qualify. Or you go to, if you've been uh, if you've been abused and so forth, you go to the adjoining country and seek refuge to a Canadian embassy and say we need to seek refuge in Canada. Then you go through the process of saying that you qualify. You don't trek no 1,200 miles, getting on top of a train and dealing with coyotes, quote unquote. That's the way it's supposed to be done. So I challenge any American citizen to do just that. Go to El Salvador, a Nicaraguan, Honduras, a Mexico embassy there in Chicago and say we are seeking refuge.
So aren't there some qualifications for seeking refuge or political asylum or whatever the case may be? I'm sure there's got to be some type of qualifications, because you can't just say, okay, I need you to pay my way, say to Puerto Rico or whatever. I mean, what's to keep me from just using the embassy to get me a vacation someplace? If I don't want to pay for it, say, well, I need asylum in Jamaica, so I can get my Jamaican experience.
Why do the qualifications have to apply to Americans getting out when it don't apply to the foreigners getting in?
I don't know if they don't apply to foreigners getting in. I don't know what they went through to get here. I don't know what they went through to, get on the boat.
Right across, they are walking right across the border. Logistics tell you that 14, 15, 20,000 cannot be processed in a 1 day's time by no one or two border agents. They are letting them in. So you should be able to seek the same type of gratitude and the same type of refuge going to Mexico, going to Nicaragua, Venezuela, Honduras, the same sort of treatment. I got another question for you.
Okay.
Now, I hear you talking about products for helping you when you have ailments. Mm-hmm. And also people do this too when they're trying to grow hair. They put these ointments and creams on their head and everything. Or if they got arthritis, they one day they rub ointments on their sore spots they need. Next day they get up, put some more ointment on that same spot. And the next the same spot. Well, that's not the way you do this, even to your head. You got to clean those pores out.
Oh, that's true.
And one product is good for cleaning the pores out is 91% proof alcohol in a medium hairbrush. And you wet the area, you scrub it with that hairbrush, then you can either rinse it off or wipe it off with a wet rag. Then you apply your cream.
Yes.
Even on your head, the same thing. We got the bald spots. If you don't put some on a day later, they go through that same process of cleaning out the pores. Because if you don't, your pores are stopped up. You just rubbing stuff on topographically, and it never gets down to the quote-unquote root of the problem.
So have you tried that and found it successful?
Yes, absolutely. It only makes good sense. If these products are supposed to get down below your epidermis, which is your skin layer, into where the problem is, then that's what you should do. I'll tell you something else that's good too, because a lot of these elements are nothing but parasites, and we know that clove is a natural product that really kills parasites. We'll get you some clove oil, CLOVE.
Yes, that is true. I've heard that. That is helpful. So there are
to your area after you go through the process of cleaning.
Yeah. So there are a lot of natural things that are helpful, and they've been around for a long time, but you don't hear them being promoted as health products. As a matter of fact, of course, our Friday host Viata, she has to kind of issue a disclaimer because she deals with a lot of health products, but those products aren't always something that you're going to find in the pharmaceutical shops, the drugstores and so forth. So the FDA, Food and Drug Administration, they have restrictions on what you can say in terms of whether something cures something or heals something, even if it does.
Sell them all day long. Amazon sell them all day long.
Yeah, that's true.
You have those products. The Amish sell a good product for arthritis on their Amazon website, and those products work. Charcoal tablets, charcoal coconut capsules. Charcoal is good for a lot of ailments that you have in your belly, and also good for your urinary tract infections that people develop slightly at a time, never full blown, but all in all, it causes accumulation of problems.
Yes, that's true. That's true. Well, I think it's a matter of how you present it. Like because if it works, it works, and as people realize something works, they will use it. But the way if you're going to promote it commercially, sometimes you can be challenged by the Food and Drug Administration if you say something cures a certain condition or heals a certain condition, and the Food and Drug Administration has not verified that or certified it as a product that can be used for that purpose.
Cloves and walnuts do kill parasites. When you was coming up and your grandmother used to bake that ham, they used to put cloves on.
Yeah, because ham does have parasites.
Absolutely. They may not know why, but it was acquired behavior that have been passed down. I've been to villages in other countries, and rather than have a dish on the dining room table with peppermint and jelly beans, they have cloves. You reach in there, get you some cloves, and chomp them down and chew them. Mm-hmm. And that's the reason why.
To get rid of the parasites. Yeah, well, that makes sense.
Absolutely.
That makes sense. A lot of people are not aware that, especially if they eat pork meat, because pork has parasites, pork has worms, pork has all kinds of things, because pork flesh does not, doesn't have pores where they, can eliminate toxins.
Fruits have parasites too.
Yeah.
You put them under the microscope. I'll tell you something else too. Your kids in the backyard, dig a hole, turn back the sod, dig a hole, fill it in water, put that sod in, and throw your kids in that muddy water and let them play. When it's time for them to come in the house, rinse them off, and bring them in the house. When I used to do like that, I used to throw them in the mud puddle.
So that gets rid of parasites. So what does the mud do?
They start picking up elements and minerals that you normally would not have contact with because you walk around with leather, and now you got synthetic rubber shoes on, and you're not in contact with the ground like you say. You're walking on the concrete surface or blacktop surface, and in Chicago, who would want to be walking around on the dirt in your park there in Washington Park? It's contaminated.
So the gentleman that we just got through talking to a little while ago, Mr. Prince, he was basically saying the same thing, in that because we don't have contact with the earth, we're not walking barefoot like, our ancestors and so forth, even people in the South. So we're not getting the minerals that come from the earth. We're not getting our immune system isn't being boosted the way it would be if we had contact with the earth. So people whose children play out in the mud are much, much, much more healthy than the people whose children are sitting around inside on a video game. But we don't know that, because we think the children in the mud are somehow deprived and the children with the video game are somehow privileged. And we're not realizing that it's the muddy children that are the healthy children, because they've got contact with the earth and they're building up natural immunities and absorbing natural minerals.
Well, that's true. Because those heavy elements is going to go down to your feet.
Yes.
And you don't have no way for them to be expelled out through the pores in your feet, whether the bottom of your feet, which is more difficult, but surely the top. And that's where your body gets rid of that stuff. And also take things in. It only makes common sense.
Wow. So what did your neighbors say when they saw you throwing your children in the mud? What did they say?
Probably thought the same when I wouldn't let them eat candy. Wanted to report me.
Oh, wow. They wanted to report you to the authorities because you're a terrible father. You won't let your children eat candy and you throw them in the mud. Oh, you horrible person.
Isn't that what you call a red flag?
Yeah, I guess so. So if you ever got reported, then what did you tell authorities when they asked, well, why are you letting your children play in the mud? What are you doing that for? Were you able to explain it to them?
Well, it never got that far, because if it had, I was told to mind their own business.
I see.
But no, those are things that people should get back to or try, because it only makes good sense. Many of the elements that you suffer from today is unknown back when people were doing those things. Surely the FDA is not going to come and tell you that you're not supposed to be playing in the mud. If they do, we'll tell them to go pound sand too.
Well, actually, I do remember when we went south, and my parents would talk about how that's what you walk barefoot all the year. You walk through the mud. You did all of that, and you only put shoes on in the wintertime when it was cold. So that was a way of life. And they didn't have a bunch of colds. They didn't get sick all the time. They didn't catch all of these things that children have now that they want to be inoculated with, and all of that. So the health level was higher among the so-called poor children who played outside barefoot in the mud than the so-called rich children that were always indoors, with their shoes on all year long and weren't allowed to get dirty. So, I mean, there are some scientific evidence that everything you're saying is true. What the gentleman we just got through talking to, the 91-year-old Mr. Prince, who's selling shoe magnets, we just spoke to, is speaking basically the same thing, is that we don't understand that being outdoors is healthier. So we need to change what we're teaching our children. So we want to take a quick break. Go ahead. No, go ahead.
I've been to villages, and there's a water trough that the cows and the goats drink out of.
Ooh.
And down on one end, the kids drink it out of the same trough.
Ooh, I don't know if I do that.
There's something to be learned from that, because there's a sharing of immunity. It's just like when you walk around the house, you shed skin. And
yeah,
the
that's
insects
true.
eat that dead skin.
Yeah, that is true. The insects eat your dead skin. Yeah.
That's how they acquire immunity from the rays that you tried to spray and kill them with the week before. So
wow.
The company has to reformulate its product.
Ooh, now that I did not know. That is why the The roaches that you tried to kill just won't die. they've gotten immunity.
Your dead skin acquires immunity.
Wow.
Come out with a new product, a new can. Well, that gets them. All right. Well, I'll let you get back to your show.
Well, all right. Well, thank you so much. We appreciate you sharing your wisdom and knowledge with us today. We certainly do appreciate it. And we're going to take a quick break and come right back because we're here now at Tent City, a place where those who are unhoused have figured out a way to survive. And there are many tent cities all across the city of Chicago. Some of them are under viaducts. Some of them are right on the street. Some of them are in vacant lots. But we have the opportunity to do better and to get these people who are living outdoors in tents into private, economically assisted, cooperative environments. So we appreciate all of you who have listened in and joined in. We're going to take a quick break and come right back. And we want you to stick and stay. Don't stray away. Give us a call, 515-605-9325, and press 1 when you're ready to speak, and we will gladly take your calls. We'll be right back. Stay with us.
Hi, I'm Naima Latif, and if you're watching this, that means you're one of the 4.6 billion people from around the world who are using an electronic device to talk to people. In these times, people are using the internet to talk to everybody. Friends, neighbors, family members, co-workers. People are on their cell phones and computers all day long. Now, if you're in business, that is great news. That means you can sell your products and services all day long and never have to leave your home. All you need is a media connection, somebody to connect you to an audience. And that's why I'm talking to you today. We produce programs, and our audience members are people who shop. They buy clothes, food, beauty supplies, cleaning supplies, home repair, transportation services, child care services. Whatever you're selling, they need to buy it. We're your media connection. Just follow this link, and tomorrow you can sit back and relax at home while your business is making you money.
We're here live at Tent City, where a lot of people are receiving help. And we want to talk to some because there are many who are out helping. Hi, how are you?
Okay.
Yes, that's
Okay,
good.
ma'am.
Pardon me. And we want to encourage more of this help. Hi, how are you? Good. Are you with the family that's helping here today?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I do.
Well, I'm Naima Latif, and we're doing a live radio TV show.
Okay.
And, we want to encourage more people to help. So we appreciate what you're doing. Is this something that you all do, everything?
Yeah, we do. We've been doing this for a couple of years. But I've been with them for 9 years. They've been, so she's the person.
Okay. Hi, Fearless Leader. I'm Naima Latif, and I'm live on the radio TV show, The Female Solution. And, we've got associates that's been out helping, and we want to encourage more people to help. Is it okay if you say a few words to our audience about what you do?
Yes, we'll talk to my husband.
I will certainly do that. Yes.
He's the leader. I don't want to take his spot.
Oh, hey now. Love that. Love partnership between husband and wife. I'm Naima Latif, and the show you're on is The Female Solution. And it'd be okay if you be on camera and say a few words about why you do what you do?
My head is kind of, I have Parkinson's. So.
Okay, well, just speak slowly. It's okay.
Yeah.
Yes. so everybody can see your handsome
Put it in
face.
there. I want that to stick it in.
And so now we're here at Tent City, and this lovely couple is dedicated to helping those who are in need. And we know that it's. I mean, it's good that it's a mild winter, but this is near Christmas, and it's usually very cold.
Yes, yes.
So, how many years have you all been doing this?
For about almost 30 years.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
We started out at the Union Park back in 1996. Yeah, and we've evolved now. We have our own faith-based church. Yeah, so we're out here in the streets now. We started out at the Apostolic Church of God, but then we decided to start our own. It's called Spirit of Life for the Homeless.
What motivated you to do that, to start this homeless ministry?
Well, it was my wife had the calling. She said she had the calling to do outreach. So that's how we started.
That is wonderful. You're doing great. So who finances this? Do you do this out of your own finances? Do you raise money?
Get donations.
Get donations?
When we started out on our own. And we were supported by the Apostolic Church of God. Then when we left there, we basically did it on our own.
Wow.
So in the last few years, we've been getting donations.
Wow. That's good. So if people want to donate, where do they bring their donations to?
They can call us, and they can come to Zelle. They also, my wife handles most of the donations, so she'll be able to tell you where.
Okay. You all have a website online where people can go and send money?
Yes, we do.
Oh, okay. Hey, yes.
The website.
The website where people can go to donate. Yes. Oh, wonderful. There you go. All right. So
Put in the
here we go. All right. So the Spirit of Life for the Homeless, Inc. Faith-based church outreach.
You put that in,
yes.
the website will come right up.
Okay, that is excellent.
Where you can donate at.
Yeah,
okay. Well, that directly with you guys. You guys got the Zelle.
But you got the website.
Okay, so when they go to the website, it'll come up with where they.
Actually, you do the Zelle the way that you do it directly from bank to bank.
Yes.
And then I think PayPal the same way.
Yes.
You go on the website. I only created a website just for content, so people can go on when they want to know what we're all about. And then you see.
You might be on camera. Okay, if I turn the camera so people can see your handsome face.
Right. Oh, you got me on camera. Hey.
Yes. Yes. So this is the Spirit of Life for the Homeless, Inc. Faith-based outreach.
Yes.
So you all are at 2077 Ambry Circle in Linwood, Illinois.
Yes. It's actually residential because that's where the founder and the co-founder. That's residential. It's not like the actual homeless facility. We know God's going to bless us with one.
Absolutely.
We have one in mind, and we hoping that person that has it is going to donate it to us. We use it as our headquarters. That's where we store all the food on the shelf. The garage is turned into a whole storage room.
Wow.
Storage room. So we got all the food in there. We stack all the supplies in there. All the equipment is in there. And so, until God blesses us. And we're going to do this until He does.
That is great.
He said, when you are faithful in the little things, and this ain't little, but it's little, but it can go on the broader scale. So we don't consider this little thing. He'll bless you with much more. So He's pleased. We've been doing this outdoor one for maybe, how long have we been coming out to Tent City? Maybe about 5 years.
About 5 years at
We've been
Tent City.
coming out here. Most of our events are indoors, which is 515 South Washington. That's a field house. That's the Auger Park Field House.
Oh, yes.
Off the Expressway Harrison there. We do the same thing. Yes. We bring the homeless people in because there is a homeless facility over there, the Franciscan House. It's right across the street. So we go over and get them, and we have a whole service. We have maybe about 50 to 70 people in that service. And we do the same thing. We feed spiritually first. And then after we feed you fish spiritually, you can have anything naturally that you want.
Wow, that is wonderful. So do you find that a lot of people who are in this state of homelessness, their spirit is broken? The reason why they need
Their spirit is broken, and they really don't know why. Some cases are just normal cases where good people just end up in bad situations. Sometimes people just end up on substance abuse, alcohol abuse. Because a lot of these people that are out here, they once had jobs.
Yeah.
They once had jobs. Some of them some of them had careers. I've talked to some that has been engineers and doctors
Wow.
and lawyers, and
Wow.
and they tell me how their life just spiraled, you know, after they got on substance abuse or alcohol abuse. And then they say, you know, that I lost my family, I lost my house, I lost my house, lost my car, you know, now I'm out in the streets.
Wow.
And so I done heard the stories, and you know, and so yeah, they're broken. And then people look at homeless people like they're the lesser of, and you can't look at them like that. You know, because Scripture tells us, however you treat the least of them, whatever you done to the least of them, you've done it to me.
Yes.
And so people need to watch how they treat homeless people. You know,
Absolutely.
homeless is just homeless. You know,
Yeah.
any one of us, like that old saying, any one of us could be one paycheck
One
away.
paycheck away.
You know,
Absolutely.
from being in the same situation, from living with somebody.
Yeah.
You know, living with somebody, you know, or out in the street.
Yes.
You know, and so yeah, you know, it's a great thing, you know.
Yeah, well, you're doing a fantastic job
we
here.
love it.
Yes.
We love it. They've been doing it for over 30 years.
Wow.
And I've been
30
doing it I've been doing it with them for 15.
Wow.
And I ain't going nowhere.
Wow, that's a long time. That's a commitment. That's a commitment.
It is.
Yes.
It is, you know.
Yeah.
You know, so thank you for coming out, you know, sharing our story.
Well, thank you so much for having the story to share.
All right, amen.
So what we're working on is getting more groups to be committed. Like if people can commit a dollar amount every month, that would perhaps pay for a person who's homeless, pay for their apartment, so they could get off the street, maybe get a place to live for a year. You know, Catholic Charities does that with some families, but it's not easy to go through the screening process so that somebody that you want to get into an apartment, you can make sure they're not still struggling with substance abuse or any other emotional problem that would keep them from being able to maintain the commitment. So we're working on that, but we want to humanize the situation so people know, like you just said, you know, these are people that been through hard times, and we're all in this together, so we need to help each other. So we want to say thank you to you all.
People, they're God's people.
Yeah.
They belong to God, and God said the homeless will always be homeless.
Yeah.
And we have an obligation to God's people to be helpers.
Yes,
and
we
good
do.
stewards for God. And so
Yes.
that's what we do. You know, it's one thing that's just coming out, you know, giving things. But if you don't give the word of God, you have not given them anything.
Yeah.
Because the word of God is sustaining.
Yeah.
It'll keep you. God's word. Jesus himself is a helper. Lives change when they find out who Jesus is. It's not just in all the giving sometimes. Yes, it's beautiful people, and they give from their sustenance that they have. But the most important thing you can ever offer a man is Christ. Because when you offer him Christ, his whole entire life, his whole outlook has changed.
Yeah.
You see, you want to do better. You see what I'm saying? Because you can give me handouts all the time. You know, and that's nice. And God wants us to do that. And you know, and they are good Samaritans. But God also wants us to be out here to tell him about what he can do. Yeah. He's a sovereign God. He's in control of everything.
Yes.
And he can change your life within the twinkling of an eye.
Yes.
You see? So where you think you at, you know, it doesn't matter because your life can change. Don't look at now. Look what God is going to do in your life in the future.
Yes.
So your life can change.
Yes, it can.
But you, first of all, you got to trust in God, and you got to believe in God. Yeah. And you got to have faith. And I truly believe they trust in God. But what God?
Yeah.
What God?
Yeah. Well,
because the God that we serve, he's more than able to do exceedingly abundantly above all that we could ever ask or think. He is able.
Absolutely, yeah.
So he's able to change everybody's life. You don't have to be in this situation. That's what we're preaching. You see what I'm saying? Yes, we give you food to eat because we know that that's what Jesus did. He fed the 4,000, he fed the 5,000.
Yeah.
He gave them something. But guess what? God wanted much more.
Yes. He also gave them some inspiration, some understanding, so that they can be motivated to change their circumstances.
To change, want to change.
Yes.
But the only way you can change is having Jesus Christ as Lord and Savior of your life. There is no other way. You see, because guess what? I can give you something today, and then it's gone. Just like we can give a child a toy and it rusts.
Yeah.
But if I give him Jesus, he's for eternity.
So when you give people the food and the things for their physical body, then you give it with a word.
Well, we give them the word of God first. Because we know that our God is sustaining and he will keep them. And we know no matter what their situation may be, God can turn it around.
Absolutely.
All things are passed away and all things become what? New.
Yes.
So you may have that old life, but when you got Jesus, you can get the new life, and that's eternal.
Eternal life.
And so guess what? That changes everything.
Yes.
Because see, Satan came to kill, steal, and destroy. But Jesus said, I come that you may have life and you may have it more abundantly.
Absolutely.
You can have abundance life.
Yes.
You see?
Yes, you can.
That's the only way.
Yes, you can.
Okay, God bless you.
Well, God bless you. Let me make sure. Do I have a card with me? If not, I'll run and get one. I'll run and get a. No, I do have. Got it in my pocket. Okay. There we go. Yes.
God bless you.
Yes, God bless you. And thank you all so much for what you are doing and have done and continue to do. We appreciate you. Yes, ma'am. All right. We are so excited that we have had a chance to see people in action, making a difference in the lives of those who are out here in Tent City. And you can just see, of course, it would be great if more of us did this kind of work. Because how are you, sir?
All right.
Wonderful.
You ever live down south? 100. No business talk. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people in business do a lot of
haven't lived down south, but I've got family that's from down south. Here's my card.
What part?
Yes. So I got folks in Alabama, West Virginia, down there.
The first thing is I know what you was gonna say first.
What's that?
But I'm not gonna repeat that.
Oh, okay.
I know you might have family from outside of the country as well.
Okay.
Okay, now I'm saying that to say this. I need what it is that belongs to me, man. And I'm sure you play a big part in these certain people keeping that away from me. Yeah. Now, I was supposed to be a billionaire.
Oh, you got land that has been taken. A whole lot of folks are fighting.
I designed a modern day SUV.
Oh.
Yeah. And like I don't know how many Grammys. Yeah. And y'all playing one on mail.
Hey, I understand.
Yeah.
Well, I know what you feel, definitely, for sure. And I'm glad y'all here getting this good food here. Is it okay if we show the plate that they serve?
I developed a majority of that before. No.
Okay. I just wanted to show the food, but that's okay. Yeah.
Here's the thing.
Yeah.
I'm really serious about that. There's a lot of people that's gotten hurt.
Yes.
You still recording?
No, I'm recording me. This is on my face.
All right, just cut.
No. Yeah. Well, we got about 7 more minutes on air, but I'll be back because I know you got a story to tell, and I know you got some folks that probably, like you say, owe you some money. Yes.
No. Wait a minute. You for the past few Christmases, I've been seeing you come around.
Oh well, thank you for noticing. I didn't know I was that memorable. So yeah, I've been through her maybe a couple of times, but. Oh, okay. You got a good memory. Yeah. Well, let me finish this up and then I can come back. But yes. Yeah. Well, you got a very good memory. Not everybody remembers his face much. Okay. All right. Well, let me come back and we got about 7 more minutes while we're on air. And yeah. Well, anyway, enjoy your food. I don't want it to get cold. So yeah, I'll be back. Okay, great. Yes. Well, thank you all so much. Appreciate your work. Yes. God bless you. Yeah. We'll see you again. Yes. So we have so many people that benefit from the love and kindness of strangers. And we want to give more people the opportunity to be a blessing to those they know and those they don't know. So if you have a desire to make a difference in people's people's lives, then we want you to be a part of the process. Private, economically assisted cooperative establishments. We're looking forward to creating places where people can live and don't have to be out in tents. As you can see, Tent City, which is right in the South Loop area on Roosevelt Road and Canal, right off the expressway. This is not an easy thing for people to live through, being outdoors in weather like this, and depending on the benevolence of people like the Spirit of Life for the Homeless Inc., faith-based church and outreach. And these are people who are committed. And we want more to be committed. Of course, we know that our own Monday morning mindfulness host, Zelda Speaks, with the HLN TV network, of course, the Higher Learning Network, non-for-profit group, has been coming out to Tent City. You can go to her blog and see the wonderful documentary on her brother, Douglas Robinson, who, as part of the unhoused community, was someone who kept them motivated and inspired. And after having been killed by another person who was also unhoused, and it was in the news, of course, but it spurred our dear sister Zelda to be out here giving and giving and giving. And you can go to her website and give. And we want to expand the involvement in alleviating this problem, this crisis that doesn't have to exist. All we need to do is share. So we're going to be continuing to remind you of the power that you have to make a change. And we appreciate all of you who have listened to our programs over the years. And as always, we invite you to be a part of the solution. I'm Naima Latif. Thank you for joining us. And we'll be back tomorrow on Christmas Day. You'll get a chance to hear more. 7
We've come to the end of our show today,
to 9
but you
p.m.
can hear
Central.
every show in
As
the archive
always,
at
we're with you every day, 7 days a week, and Monday through Friday, 7 a.m. to 9 a.m. Central. Saturdays, 12 noon to 2
p.m. on the Female Solutions Facebook page. Go to www.facebook.com/thefemalesolution. Leave your comments about today's show. You can always reach me on my website at www.naimalatif.com. That's www.naimalatif.com. Watch our TV shows, listen to our radio shows, order our books, and be sure to get your copy of the book, The Female Solution. On behalf of our team of radio hosts, I'd like to thank all of you who participated in today's discussion. And to our global family listening from all around the world, we say thank you. 60 seconds. To our family in China, Sheshe, India, Zanyaba, Japan, Arigato, Korea, Kamsahamnida, Russia, Spasiba, Germany, Danke, Poland, Dziękuję, France, Merci, Spain, Gracias, Italy, Grazie, Egypt, Shukran, Ghana, Nadasi, Nigeria, Eshe, South Africa, Gabonga, Senegal, Geret, Kenya, Asante, Israel, Toda, Pakistan, 10 seconds, Afghanistan, Tashakur, Saudi Arabia, Shukran. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Thank you, and may peace be upon you and the mercy of God and God's blessings.
Hi, I'm Naima Latif, and if you're watching this, that means you're one of the 4.6 billion people from around the world who are using an electronic device to talk to people. In these times, people are using the internet to talk to everybody. Friends, neighbors, family members, co-workers. People are on their cell phones and computers all day long. Now, if you're in business, that is great news. That means you can sell your products and services all day long and never have to leave your home. All you need is a media connection, somebody to connect you to an audience. And that's why I'm talking to you today. We produce programs, and our audience members are people who shop. They buy clothes, food, beauty supplies, cleaning supplies, home repair, transportation services, child care services. Whatever you're selling, they need to buy it. We're your media connection. Just follow this link, and tomorrow you can sit back and relax at home while your business is making you money.